Alrighty. Sorry, I had trouble with my mic there. It wasn't wanting to turn on. Alright, so as the title of the stream says, today we're gonna be kind of going through Godot. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to do today, especially within like an hour or two, because you know, game development is a time-consuming process. So I'm gonna move my mic back a bit. So yeah, so the specific version of Godot we're gonna be using is Godot 4.4. It's gonna be like the beta version of it. Again, this is if we run into any bugs, you know, just know that this is an unstable version. But anyway, like if you go to the Godot website, you're gonna see like different versions of it. You're gonna have like 3.3 or 3.5, I think is what it is, and then 4.4. Both these versions of Godot are very different. Well, not super different, but the GD script that both the programs use is a little different, and you know, what I'm doing here may not necessarily translate to Godot 3.3 or 3.5 or whatever the LTS is. So, figured for today, I'm just gonna go ahead and switch the monitor here. For today, we're gonna go ahead and try to create a basic 3D platform. And you know, I wouldn't say platform. It's more of a concept than a game. What we're doing today. And just full disclosure, I do have the Godot documentation to my left, and as well as DeepSeek R1. If you're just starting out, I would not recommend necessarily using DeepSeek, since it's AI models are really good, but they can hallucinate, so you kind of do have to have some sort of experience beforehand, prior experience dealing with it in order to accurately use it. So, and I will tell you when I'm using the Godot docs and DeepSeek, because you know, coding is very complicated. I'm gonna try and go over some basics, hopefully, and you can pick some things up. This is not going to be like a complete object-oriented language course. But anyway, let's just get started. So when you first open up, you're going to be like in this kind of new area, and you're just going to hit create new project. And since this is just going to be a 3D platformer, we'll just call it 3D Plat. And you know, it's in the documents folder, and you know, luckily the folder will automatically be created. And don't worry about this bottom thing. This is just if you want to use GitHub, or you want to use some sort of like version manager. I'm not going to do that for a project this small. So yeah, I'm just going to create. Alrighty. So, since we're going to be making a 3D platformer, we're going to stick to this view. You see you have like 2D, 3D. So yes, Godot can also be used as a 2D engine, but we're going to be using it as a 3D engine. There's also the script. I'll go a little bit into GD script as we're programming it out. And obviously you have asset library, and this is kind of like, I think this is where your test games. I haven't done, full disclosure, I have not done much work in Godot 4.4. I think this is just when you run your game, you test your game, it'll run your project, it'll appear here. Now anyway, to do a 3D platformer, essentially, I guess from scratch in Godot, we're gonna need, first off, we're gonna need a node. So like, Godot has what's called, it uses a node-based system for pretty much everything. anything that you create in Godot is going to be represented as a node. So I'm going to go ahead and create a no, I don't want to create a 2D scene. I want to create a 3D scene. We want to delete this. No, we want to node 3D. And as you can see, this node is just kind of a conceptual object. I'm right-clicking, by the way, and I'm going to use WASDA to move around. That's how you kind of move in this editor. And I think to go up and down, you... Q and E? Yeah, it's Q and E. Okay. So anyway... Where do we... Alright, let's, if we're going to create a platform, we're going to need something for our player to stand on, right? We're going to need some sort of basic terrain. So we've created our node 3D, but we don't... this is just like a theoretical object in memory. It's not actually anything yet, right? So we need to change it into what we need. And Godot has hundreds of built-in nodes that you can use to kind of use as like Lego pieces, you know? You stack whatever Lego piece, like if you want to build a castle, you stack, you know, whatever pieces that you need in order to make that castle happen, right? The concept is fundamentally the same. We're just kind of using Lego pieces to, you know, create what we want. Now, obviously, you can go into scripting and do a lot more, but I'm not gonna go too deep into that. So what we're gonna want is we're gonna want a mesh. So should be a mesh shape 3D, right? Yeah, mesh instance 3D. We're gonna change it to that, and be able to choose. I don't want fuzzy shirt. We should be able to choose what the shape is. If I remember where it's at. A skeleton. Sorry, it's been a minute since I used Godot. It should be somewhere in here. Oh, there we go. Okay. You just had to click the little drop down right here. We're gonna create. Just gonna go ahead and create a cube. Cubat. Ray, sphere, prism. Quad? Is that what I'm looking for? Or no, box. Okay. Call it box. Alright. Alrighty. So, but obviously, you know, for the platform that we kind of want to move around on, we're not going to want it to be like a straight up cube like this. We're going to want to alter the dimensions of this cube. So let's see here. Geometry, instance 3D. Not gonna, okay, let's undo that. Transform node. I'll go into how this is organized in a minute, but I'm just trying to figure out where the do I want, does this change anything? 5.0? Yeah, that's not doing anything. Or it's a bounding box. Okay, well, we don't want to do that. Mesh instance. Okay, we don't want this. What we want to do is we want to alter this skeleton. Okay. Okay, so you have to click. Okay, so you click the drop-down menu and then you click the. Okay. You click the box and now you have the actual dimensions. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to make this 0.5 on the X. Oh, no, actually, no, I want it on the Y. 0.5 on the Y. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit more platform-like. And then I'm going to go ahead and expand it by, I don't know, let's say 10. There we go. Now we have like our little basic platform that our player will stand on. And by the way, to alter the speed at which this thing is going, you use mouse wheel. And to alter the speed of the camera. All right. So we got that done. And in case you're wondering how this is organized, so should I go into that? No, I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait till we're getting into the scripting portion to explain this kind of how this is organized on the side. But needless to say, the way this is organized is because of, again, object-oriented programming and certain principles involved in that, which we'll get into later. But anyway, now that we have that, now if I were to start this game with this mesh, I would fall right through it, right? Unlike the previous editors that we've used, this doesn't generate any sort of like hitbox around it. So we have to create essentially a collision sort of thing that will tell that'll tell the engine that, hey, this is a solid object. You're not supposed to pass through this. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is, as a child of this Node 3D, I'm gonna go ahead and add a collision shape. Yeah, I want a collision shape 3D. That's gonna be a child of that node, and the shape, we're gonna go ahead and just use the sphere, or the box, not the sphere. I don't know why I said sphere. We're gonna use the box to count as our kind of as our hitbox, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change it to the exact dimensions of our platform here. 10.0 and 0.5. There we go. Our hitbox is the exact shape of our thing, and it's giving us a warning here. Collision shape only through. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a type of shape. Does the mesh already have a thing on it? Because it used to be you had to actually define the custom area 3D, static body 3D, rigid body, character body 3D, give them a shape. Usually, yeah, I think I'm doing this correct. Yeah, you add this as a child node. You get it as a child of mesh. This is often used to render 3D geometry. They can be instances of mesh in single places. This allows. What we'll keep it. Maybe I need an area 3D as well. Hang on. All right, I think what we need to do is we need to also put an area 3D in here as well. If I remember correctly. It's been a while. I'm gonna go ahead and just assign that as a child of area 3D, and then assign the collision shape as a child of that. Okay, there we go. The error went away. Let's see. One of the great things about Godot, by the way, is that you can just right-click anything and open up, and you'll have documentation here as well. And it detects whether or not collision 3Ds. It also keeps track of collision objects that haven't left it yet. Areas with custom and yeah, I thought we could just give the collision shape, but I guess maybe it gives an error that it's not used for something that's not a thing. I think why you have to do this is because this is interacting with the physics kind of system that Godot has, and you can't directly put the collision shape to the Node 3D because it's not technically directly interacting with the fist. I don't know. We'll experiment with that later. But right now, we should have a basic collidable object. But first, we need a player, right? So we have our platform, but we also need a player. And for that, we're gonna go ahead and create a player character 3D. I think is what it's called. Or collision shape 3D. Character body 3D. And we'll take this character body 3D and we're going to add a collision node to it, just like we did with the platform. And we want a collision shape. And this time, we're going to want a capsule. It's typically what people use for the character body. Now, because it's a child of this node, when I move the character body, the collision shape 3D will move with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this up. It's like right there. And I'm not even going to bother adding a mesh to it. I think this is kind of fine. I think as is, we can kind of test it and see whether or not it falls through the... Well, no. Actually, we should add a mesh so that we can see if the character body falls through or not. So I'll just go ahead and add mesh for convenience sake. Mesh instance 3D. Create. The mesh will be a capsule. I want to move this capsule up. That's as close as possible. We can use precise measurements if we click on this and look at the transform. The transform of character body 3D. Again, these are all properties of the Node 3D. I'll go into that later when we're doing a GD script coding. Our transform. It's considered to be at 0. Okay. Ooh. All right. Well, I'm going to call that close enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run the scene. No, I don't want to run the project. I want to run the current scene. Actually, no. Wait. I think I need a camera as well. Let me see. Well, before we run the scene, we have to save it. So we're going to just call it Plat 3D. Okay. Yeah. We need to actually the camera in there. And so like with anything else, the camera is also a node. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, add child node, camera 3D. And yeah, we want to move this camera. It's going to spawn right here. Move it up. Rotate it. There we go. There's a little object. You can see the camera has a little outline of where it's facing and which way is up, which is nice. So let's run it. Select current. Oh yeah, see? Oh wait, actually no, we don't have gravity programmed yet. There's nothing, they're just gonna remain there. But anyway, we have our, I'm sorry, you can tell it's been a while. But yeah, but anyway, right now you can see we have both our we have our meshes in there. There's no gravity yet, so we're gonna have to actually start programming that in. But this is kind of how you just basically create shapes and what you need, what those shapes need in order to not fall through each other or pass through each other like ghosts. So what I'm gonna do. I'm going to add an actual node 3D. I'm going to rename this the Mesh Instance 3D. This is going to be a little confusing. Mesh Instance 3D. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new node. And that's just going to be a strict node to node 3D. That's going to be as basic as you can get. I'm going to move it towards the top. The order in which these nodes are in does matter at runtime. If I can move it to that, I might just have to move the Mesh Instance 3D to the bottom. Our selection change that can't reparent. not trying to repair it, I'm just trying to move this down. It's just considered the root now. Oh, whatever. I'll just leave it as this. It doesn't matter right now. Anyway, I'm just gonna call this world node. I don't know. I'm just gonna give it some generic name, and we're gonna go ahead and get into some scripting here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach a script, and I use GD script. We just want it to inherit node 3D. And we'll notice, ooh, actually, I wanted to use the template. Is there a template available? Hang on. Oh, whoops. Open scene. Sorry, I think I accidentally closed our scene. What I wanted to do is I wanted to move this. Task script. Task script. We want it to be a new thing, new script. Do some kernel case there. Template, node. Okay, there we go. So when you normally start it out, you're gonna have like this little template right here. You're gonna have a ready function and you're gonna have a process function. And long story short, the ready function runs once when the node is ready. And it never runs again. So whatever code is executed in the function, ready function, is just run once. Process is constant. It's ran like a loop. It's constantly going through it and running whatever code's in there. In case you're wondering, so I said earlier that node order kind of matters. What essentially happens is that the lowest node is, like, the way this works is that the lowest node goes first. It goes from bottom to top, right? Whenever the game is first loading in, so whenever the game's first loading in, for example, the world node is the first node that loads, and then camera 3D, and then the mesh instance 3D and collision shape 3D are loaded. And then after that, the character body 3D is considered ready. And then the collision, and then so on. So this is why I said earlier how order matters. We're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna run into too many issues, hopefully, that will cause problems for us with node order. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep going here. So we need to program gravity into our game world. So what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to use the default functions. Instead, I'm going to use func physics process, and thankfully we have an autocomplete. And I'm going to put paths in here just to, make sure I have no errors. By the way, this pass here basically just tells the program that's running to ignore what's going on here. So it's not expecting any sort of code. And we're gonna need gravity, so I think I'm gonna. So right now I'm opening up my opening up my notes, and whoops, I didn't mean to minimize the. Whoops, I didn't mean to put the. Sorry about that. Not supposed to see that. OBS really likes taking up my main monitor for some reason when I minimize it. So we need a direction that basically says, all right, the gravity is pointing this way. We need it to go down. So I'm trying to figure out. We have the documentation. Yeah, we need fall acceleration. Character body 3D. All right. What we're gonna do is first we're gonna define a variable that's gonna represent our gravity, right? Everything you do in programming, to put simply, is just taking a value and changing that value. So basically storing values and changing values is really all a lot of programming is. So what we need to do is we need to create a value that's going to represent gravity. So I'm just going to go ahead and do @export variable gravity, and I'm just going to give it a, whoops, I didn't type that property, variable gravity, and we're going to make it equal some sort of number. I'm going to say 15. All right, so now there is a variable in our program that represents gravity, and its value is 15. 15 what? We don't know. I think in Godot, each of these little, let me go back to the thing. I think in Godot, each of these little squares represents a meter. I think, or maybe half a meter. Basically, this is going to involve 15 meters. It's going to represent meters. This value will eventually represent meters, but we're not doing anything with this value. It's just a variable with the value stored in it. We need to put this somewhere in our program, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference this gravity value in this function. The gravity. Actually, hey, wait, hang on. I might be getting ahead of myself. Think again, I'm looking at the documentation. Let's see here. Physics process if direction does not equal, yeah. Is using acceleration is 75. Calls it. So if direction is not equal, target velocity dot x equals direction is speed. Yeah, we want this thing to fall. So we need to make our character body 3D. So, all right, I'm trying to figure out how I would code this. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going through my. Not is on floor. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and reference. Okay, I'm gonna have to reference the character body on it. Okay. What I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna create a reference to the character body 3D, and at the variable. Actually, at onReady, we need. So I'll explain these little tags later, but I'm just going to store the character body 3D. In fact, I'm just going to click and drag this. You can do this in Godot. You can just kind of click and drag the thing you're referencing. Actually, no. Variable player character equals character body 3D. Okay, there we go. And what I'm going to do is player character dot would be the position dot z equals gravity. Now this isn't gonna make it fall, but it's gonna be it will change the, if I were to run the code now, it will probably change the position of the character by the value that we listed here. So just to test that here, I'm gonna hit run. And let's see if I was type int, it's not on base. Oh, okay. I've got something. So, important thing in programming, types. Certain functions in like these nodes and stuff take specific types. So I'm just gonna change this to 15.0. That should run. Oh, nope. Have to load. Valid. Okay. Should just be able to make this go down. Property. So that's our character body 3D. Let's not... I'm gonna open up the documentation. What do I have access here on here? What values do I actually... So I'll just kind of do a brief overview of object-oriented programming here. So each of these nodes, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn down the music as well because it's a little extra for what I'm doing. But each of these nodes has properties, right? And these properties all sort of inherit off of each other. So, for example, you have the object thing, and it has its own properties. But as a subset of object, you have node, which inherits all of the properties of object and node. And, you know, same thing with Node 3D. Node 3D inherits all the properties from these two, and it has its own properties, and so on and so forth. And as a result, you have a lot of different properties you can, you know, manipulate, and you can organize your program with these, you know, with all these, like, it's kind of hard to explain on the spot. A lot of people don't like using properties or inheritance because it can get confusing, but basically this inherits all the properties from this, which inherits all the properties from this, which inherits all the properties from this. And you can organize your game. Knowing this, you can organize your game using this. So what I need to do is I need to make it so that the transform... Actually, okay. That's what I need. Player character dot transform dot y. I think that's what I need. Equals gravity. I think that's what I needed to do. Invalid property, type float on base object, type transform 3D. Does it not take, does transform 3D not take floats? Type int, okay. Normally you can just try to figure out why it's not. It's just the transform right here. That's the thing I'm part. So remember what I told you earlier about like, you know, properties. This little thing on the side is organized that way. So you have all the properties of Node, and you have all the properties of Node 3D, and you have collision object, physics body. For whatever reason, I can't seem to get the transform property to. Maybe I think it's case sensitive. Maybe. Valid access property or key on base object type character body 3D. be able to... Okay. Why is this not working like I want it to? Did I misspell it? No, that's the variable. Technically, what I'm doing should just move the character body 3D down. It's not wanting to do that. I'm trying to figure out how to access that variable and change it. So we have character body 3D. Player character dot. I wonder if it's because our character body 3D is not initiated yet. This up here. Again, this might be where it matters. But no, it should wait till it's on ready. Okay, I need the identifier. Transform. Transform. Dot Y. Proper key. Well, should just be able to directly access the Y of the transform. Why is this not? Again, this is an experimental stream for me, so I'm going to run into more issues that I did not anticipate. I wasn't anticipating to get kind of stuck on this. I should just be able to like transform and alter this. I should just be able to go to here, get this transform, and change the position. Oh, maybe it's because I didn't. I want the position. .position.y. Position. .y. Maybe I just want position. I think I might just want position. There we go. Okay. We figured it out. I was accessing the wrong thing. We wanted position, not transform. But anyway, we got the thing to move. We got it to move through the object. That's what I originally wanted to do. I think this is going to be a bit of a long stream if we keep running into that. I was hoping to do a little bit more today, but we might not. But anyway, yeah. So we want the player character position, not the transform. And it's a good thing we have physics process. We want that going. We want this under the physics process, but we want it to be a constant falling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit plus equals to gravity. And what that does is that this basically acts as an adder. It's constantly adding this velocity to our player character object. In case you're wondering what an object is, it's any sort of function in memory. So basically, character body 3D is an object. Camera 3D is an object. These are all objects. So are these functions. These functions are also considered objects. Hence why it's called object-oriented programming. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move the camera back out a bit, that we see the actual falling of the thing. Oh. Maybe I should tilt it down. Well, anyway, it's gone. It shouldn't be gone, but it is. I might I'm gonna change the gravity here, and you'll notice the gravity now appears here on my my little side frame right here. That's because I use this little export variable. This export variable basically exports this variable value to our little side inspector here. They call it the inspector, and makes it so that you can easily change the value here, and I don't have to go constantly into the script out and modify things. This onReady thing is also another. I forgot what they called this. There's a specific term for this. I don't think it's a prefix. It's like a preprocessor or something like that. Anyway, it's a very specific instruction on what to do, on what to wait for or do. So for onReady, this is basically just telling the script, hey, I want you to wait until this character body 3D is ready before you run the rest of the script. In short. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this slower so that it's not constantly waiting for it. I think we saw it for like a brief second there. Anyway, point is, it's no longer there. It fell through. I think my computer might be running too fast for you to see it fall through. In fact, what I'll do is I'll take the camera 3D. Maybe I'll attach it to the character body 3D. And I'll have it face looking upwards. And it should move with the camera. And we can't really see much, but I'm gonna go ahead and undo that. But what I'm gonna do is still thinking about how I'm gonna organize this. Anyway, we have gravity now, but we don't want our player character to pass through the mesh, or our little collision thing that we did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a special built-in function that Godot has. I'm going to try and remember what that is. So I'm going to use, I believe it's this one. If not is on floor, and this is just like a this is an if statement. Basically, if this thing is true or not true, do this. That's what an if statement does. Is on the floor. We'll run this code. Well, function is on the floor. It's not found on base self. Oh, right, because we need the character, because that's only a function on the character body 3D, not the world mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pass on this. I was just kind of trying to use this as a demonstration. Let's see here. We'll put on character body 3D, attach script, and here it already has our so the character body 3D is already kind of pre-built for us. I kind of don't want to use that. But anyway, as you can see, this is quick gravity. So this has a gravity function already built in. I was doing it the long way because, if you're doing it from scratch and not trying to use any of the pre-built stuff, you can, I was trying to show you the idea of how to do it. But anyway, this get gravity thing, we don't want to use our get gravity function in this, but we'll just, tell you what, we'll use the function or we'll use the variable that we created in world node in this. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add another variable to this called world node. And that's going to be our world node 3D. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace this gravity function with our custom value by saying world node dot, what do we call it? Gravity. Gravity velocity plus equals our world node dot gravity times delta. And this, you should see the layer fall at the velocity that we defined. So yeah, this velocity vector. Oh, it's a built-in property of the character 3D. Okay. So yeah, this is modifying a property that this character body 3D has built in. Is what's going on. So, just get valid operands, vector 3 and float and operator plus O, right? Because it's okay. So this is why types are important. This velocity can't take in the gravity vector that we added into it. Tell you what, we're gonna go ahead. We'll just copy paste this. We're gonna save this. We're gonna go ahead and patch the script. Actually, let's just see if the script works just to make sure works first. Just make sure I did it correctly. Oh, well, there was our object, and it just fell. Or did our object fall through our thing? Okay, so our object is falling through the thing. Our thing is not our function, our collisions are not set correctly. So what I need to do, I think, is I need to make it so this is on. We need to set our collision layers, and to do that, we need to figure out. Yeah, our collision object 3D. So our area 3D. So this is okay. Yeah, this is why we needed an area 3D earlier, is because our area 3D actually defines the collision layers, which our is our collision shape is hooked onto. So collision layer 1. So what's our collision shape 3D on? It should be on 1 as well, right? Oh, wait. Our collision shape 3D is not attached to our mesh instance. Maybe... No, maybe it needs to be there. I can't remember what's going on here. Why is it falling? It shouldn't be falling through. What's going on here? Collision. So our collision layer is on 1. I don't get this. It says our... Why is our thing falling through? It should not be falling through. That's all I know. There's something not... Your body 3D. I may have to take another look at the documentation. just to see why this is not stopping character. Okay, this is confusing me. Why is it not working? Layer 1, bit 0 of layer 1. Theoretically, it shouldn't be passing through it, but I'm not seeing the... Here's the thing, I'm not seeing the thing itself being... We should be able to vent this. I'm gonna move the world node back there. I mean, is it because we haven't defined that as round? Because it's like we haven't defined a direction? If direction equals something normalized. I'm looking at the documentation right now. Trying to figure out why. Collision shape. Searching collision shape. 3D particle collisions. Performance caveats. Why is this not colliding? I don't get. I gotta take a closer look at this code here. See why it's not. I have move and slide. I have get gravity function. I can go in here. Why is this not recognizing this area 3? Is it... Maybe if I tried... If I put it higher in the air... I don't think this is going to do anything. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. I'm just trying to get it to where... If I raise the player up a bit, it'll work. No, it just falls straight through. I used the wrong... I hope I didn't use the wrong root node. The first 3D game. I think I used the wrong root node, did I? Again, most of my experience comes from like Godot 3 and a bit of Godot 4. Oops. I don't remember why this isn't happening. Why are we not hitting the thing? Is it? No, we don't want the cool mask. Collision layer 1? No. Try this. Not gonna do anything. Should just hit the it should hit our area 3D and stop. It should recognize our collision shape of our thing and stop. I'm trying to figure out why it's not doing that. Hang on. 3, 4. character body passing through platform collision shape. Collision objects are passing through each other. It shouldn't, I guess, because it's not, like, I shouldn't have to code the collision shape itself, because it should just recognize the thing as it's a collision shape. It should just stop. Just looking some stuff up. Maybe I need to use a static. You know what? I think I know what I did wrong. I think I need a static body 3D. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yeah. I think that's what I did. God damn it. I think I need to. Yeah, I'm starting to. Okay. It's starting to come back to me. Fact. Again, this is just what happens when you do these things live. You know, you run into something and you think something worked one way, but it actually didn't. Yeah, so I think I need the static body 3D, and I'll be under the area 3D. This node has no shape. Well, it actually does have a shape. Just attached a shape to it. I think the area 3D I don't need. I don't think I need this right now. I think that's what I was getting confused with. That should work. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. This is what you get when you do this. And you're like coming back to this after like 6 months not working on something, and it gets rough coming back. All right. So that's okay. We're using the wrong node. It's not an area 3D. Area 3D is used for different things. We'll use an area 3D later. Right now. What's this? Why is this weird box over this mesh? Why is this? I don't know what this weird box is. I think that's just like the spawn thing. I think it's like the. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what this. I think this is like the origin thing. What spawned, and we're not gonna worry about that. But right now. So yeah. So. I forgot that Godot does this now and just kind of puts this on the character body 3D for you. But anyway, I'll just walk through the code and show you what it's doing. So, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this so we're not using any code from our world node. So basically, this extends character body 3D. We have two values. These are constants. Constants are just variables, but they don't change. You can't change them. So we have speed and jump velocity that are just kind of, hooked in. And finally, we have our functions physics process, which is taking the delta of the game. That's the rate of change that the engine is experiencing. This is to keep the physics consistent if you have an uneven frame rate. But basically, it's taking that as an argument, which is it's taking delta as an argument, and in this function, and this is a looping function, right? So this is constantly running. We have our if not on floor. We basically apply gravity on our character. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. So basically, if our character is not on the floor, it's gonna fall, right? And this is on floor basically checks whether or not we're standing on this static body 3D or not, right? This collision shape, right? Whenever we're standing on this, whenever our capsule is making contact with our static body 3D, it's checking this is on floor thing. It's checking whether or not it's true or not, right? So when we're touching the floor, the static body 3D, the is on floor is true. When it's not true, i.e. if it's not is on floor, if it's false, it's going to run our velocity, and it's going to cause our character to fall. Right, so our velocity is a property on our character 3D. That is a vector 3. And it's going to be increased by our vector 3 constant, which is our gravity, multiplied by delta, which is the rate of change of the game. And you always multiply it by delta, because again, we don't want the if the frame rate's uneven, the physics will change. The physics of our game will change, and we don't want that. We want it to be consistent, regardless of whether or not your frame rate is good or not. And below this, we have another if statement that's like, okay, if our input, that's our, I forgot what this is called. I think that's our, as an object? There's a special name for it. I forgot what it was called. Let me... Yeah, it's an object. So it's a special class, I should say, in our game that basically tells, hey, if this thing is action just pressed, and this is a function, UI accept, and is on floor, right? If we're on the floor, like we're not in the air, we increase our velocity, our Y. Remember, velocity is a property on our character body 3D by our jump velocity, which is this constant up here. And that's all you need to do for jumping. And, you know, obviously we have our input directions. We have, we store our input directions in this variable. And, or no, we store our, yeah, we're storing our input directions in this variable through this class get vector UI left, UI right, up, down. And we're also storing our direction, which is our transform.basis multiplied by our vector 3, which is normalized. And why you want to do that, I'll get into in a bit. But basically, you know, this is storing the direction. This is storing our input. How do I put this? It's basically if we move our vector, so if we move our UI to the left or right, it's going to get a vector from that. Using this function, it's going to get a vector from that, and it's going to store that in this variable. And then we get that vector from that variable, from this variable into this variable, and it inputs whatever the vector is from this into this direction. .x. So along the x-axis, it is getting our vector 3, or our vector direction from our input. Again, it's complicated. It's not as complicated as I'm making it out to be. I'm kind of bad. I'm very bad at explaining this. But basically, we're gonna go ahead and so basically, yeah. So it's getting the vectors from our input directions that we press on our keyboard. These are all keyboard inputs. I forgot to mention, these are all keyboard inputs. And this is our, like, same thing with this. This is UI accept, so that would be our jump button. But anyway, we have our vector inputs, and then it's dot normalized, which means that if you're holding two directions at once, so with vectors, if you hold two directions at once, those vectors combine together, right? They add up. So if you're going in any direction, it's 1, but if you have two directions going at the same time, it becomes 2. What this normalized does is that it keeps it at 1, so you're not going faster diagonally. And below that, we have another if statement, which is like, okay, if our direction is x For Z, it's going to be our direction, which is our, our whole, which is storing this and multiplying it by speed. We take our direction Z, and same thing down here. And this is basically copy-pasted the same thing down here, only with the Z direction. So, and then if we're not doing those things, this zeroes out the velocity. So remember, if we're holding a direction, it's going to just add there and stay there. It's that value's just gonna stay there. This zeroes out that input that we just did. So, like, if these two lines didn't exist, if you press left, you just keep going left. Whereas this basically says, all right, you've stopped holding this. All right, now we move back towards center, or we move this back towards 0. And then this move and slide is just the generic call that is made that tells the object that it's collided with something. So I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate this here. And I should be able to use arrow keys to move it. Oh, yeah, and there we go. We're moving to the left, and the thing fell off. I'll just go ahead and do that again. You see, it's moving towards us. That's to the left, that's to the right. This is our jump. And we're going to go ahead and jump off the platform. But yeah, so obviously if you're just trying to get started, this is a very good starting tutorial. Earlier I was trying to show you how to do it from scratch, but my memory is about Godot. It's not as good as I thought it was, and I got kind of stuck. But yeah, so what now? So yeah, I could define a custom gravity. I could do what we do earlier and define a custom gravity, and we'll just make it a vector 3. So we'll make variable gravity equals. Okay, we're gonna do something special here. We're gonna go ahead and give our thing a type, right? So I'm gonna colon vector 3. Whoops. Okay, I thought I selected that. Vector 3 equals vector 3 dot, say, vector 3. The vector takes three values. Just looking through the thing, just try and create a custom gravity thing. Equals 0.0, comma 0.0, comma 0.0. Should be all we need. It's 3 values. Do not get a. Actually, we'll do variable gravity equals vector 3. We'll add export. And we'll change this to gravity. We'll multiply that by delta, which is what we want. And now, with this, I can just kind of, I have a quick and easy way, quick and dirty way to change the gravity of our character. And we want to move it down the Y. So if we give it negative gravity, they should make our character float up. No, it's not floating up. What's going on? Maybe I need to give it a positive value. Okay, yeah, you have to give it a positive value. There we go. Now it's going up. right, so I'm going to go ahead and now that we have a quick and dirty way of getting our gravity. So I'll just explain what types are real quick. Each of these variables can take a value, right? That value can only, but they can only take a certain type of value, right? They can only take one type of value, and that is floating point. So you have a float, you have an int, you have a float, you have an int, you have a, what was the other one? Give you a minute while I try and remember. Float, you have an int. Float, int. Types, I got. Okay, yeah. You have a float, you have an int, you have a boolean, which is true or false, and you have string, which is a character. String is just any sort of like normal character that you'd always use. But basically, it can only take one of those four values, or it can take a class, right? Which is, you know, this is basically just a dictionary. I think I'm not sure if it's technically considered a dictionary, but it has, excuse me, it has 3 different values in it that it requires to function correctly. So now that we got that done, our world is kind of dark. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a world instance 3D. Give our world some light here. So yeah, world environment. I'm sorry, world environment. And this world environment, we're just gonna do new environment, and background is gonna be sky. Okay, well, I mean, that custom color, canvas, deep, camera feed. We don't want camera feed. Our sky is just gonna be a new sky. Do you want a custom color for our sky? We want to make everything blue? I guess we make everything blue. But right now, yeah, you know, just like what we were doing earlier, these are all properties. And, you know, you can edit these properties in code, right? Just like we did earlier when I was trying to figure out which property controlled the, you know, the transform or the position of the character body 3D. I'm not going to worry about any of these fancy graphical things right now. But, this should add basic lighting. We don't have basic lighting yet. I think we need a sun to attach to this. We want, okay, yeah, no, we need our sky. Okay, we have no light. We need our light. Right now, I'm just looking through the. Actually, I'm not gonna use a panorama. We're gonna remove that. That do. We still don't have our light source. Like, we do need to add light node. Hang on. Light. There we go. Yeah, we need a directional light. Yeah, we need a directional light 3D. There we go. We're gonna make this as a child of this. And I'm gonna go ahead and place this directional light. And make it so that it's We don't light the sky. I should be able to rotate this. I'm not sure if I'll change the direction of the light, though. It's not changing the direction of the light. No, wait, maybe it is. Yeah, we have the arrow that our light is coming from, and we want the light to come from the top. Okay, there we go. Now we have light. And I'm going to change the background world environment. Sky is not really... Oh, there we go. That looks a lot better. Now, there's a lot of properties here that I can't explain to you, but this should... Yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks very similar to what we're seeing in the editor. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and change our gravity back to 9, or back to -1. And go ahead and move it around. Oh wait, that's right, it's arrow keys. Okay. Yeah, you see our little character moving around. Now we have proper lighting. We have basic lighting, and you do that again through the world environment. And you do need to add a light source. So we're at 1 hour 19. All right, so after all of that, again, this is probably the reason why I was kind of hesitant to do this stream, but I kind of want to experiment with stuff, because even if I struggle with it, you know, it's been a while since I've done Godot, so that's why I'm having a lot of trouble. And that's also why I don't call these video tutorials, because really they're not, you know, very good. Like, it's not like a normal video where, like, you know, I'm doing this in front of a live audience, so, you know. And this is kind of like the reality of making a game, is just like it's a lot of this. It's a lot of, all right, why doesn't this work? All right, I gotta problem solve. All right, I gotta fucking figure out what node I need to use, and, you know, this is why game development is time consuming. So, all right, what I'm gonna do now that I'm done trying to, now that I'm done trying to make excuses, I'm gonna go ahead and, now that we have our basic working stuff, and, you know, really, I don't think I'm gonna modify anything else in the script, since the script is honestly good enough for what we're gonna do for today. I'd love to go into like a more in-depth thing of just doing this customly, but I don't think I'm gonna have time for that, because we're already an hour in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and try to figure out, can I get rid of this, like, maybe by just getting rid of this mesh incidence and like redoing it, because this orange box I feel like shouldn't be there. I think this is also considered the root node, so I might, here, I'm gonna go ahead and add a node, child node, mesh instance 3D, and it's going to be a new box mesh. It's going to be the exact same dimensions that we had earlier, so it's going to be 10.5, 10. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to move the static body into this new mesh instance. And it should still work. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to change this back to a Node 3D. Yeah, I'm just doing some rearranging here to make the program structure make a little more sense. Should still work. Yeah, okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I don't really want to make these mesh instance 3Ds all over again, right? Like, I don't really want to just do the same exact thing we just did for each individual platform, right? Typically, you want some sort of... You want to be able to instance things, right? You want to just be able to copy and paste this. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and where is it? Create. Okay, we're going to save the branch as a scene. We're going to call the scene platform. Okay, so now what we've done is we've taken this platform and we've turned it into a entirely separate scene that we can now just copy and paste. Right? We can just literally just click and drag. Just do this over and over again. And we should kind of be able to... I'm going to change our camera position. To kind of show what I'm talking about. And as you can see, we can move around, and my directions are not where I think they should be. I'll have to change those. And we jump, and it's like a moon jump. We're gonna go super high, and we're gonna fall through one of the platforms. Basically, we have sort of our we have basic logic in the game, at least. Very, very basic. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take our character body, and I'm gonna do the same thing to that. I'm gonna save branch as scene. Character body 3D. This is gonna be our little game character that we're gonna instance in. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and go on that. I'm going to add a camera to this. Child node, camera 3D. I'm going to make the camera go back. Oops. Make the camera go back, up. Or I'm going to kind of roll it down. So we can kind of see, kind of go with like a kind of Crash Bandicoot kind of thing, right? And I'm gonna go back to our platform 3D. I'm gonna delete our camera in here because we're not gonna need it anymore. So we're gonna have our camera in the on the node now. And there we go. As you can see, our camera is attached to our little node right here. I'm gonna jump. It's gonna be very high. And I'm just gonna go ahead and make a yeah, so good news is that our camera is actually going in the direction that we want it to. Sometimes you know, if I press forward, the character goes forward. If I go back, the character goes back. But if I put the camera in a different position, the movement wouldn't be consistent with our inputs. Like we would see, like we'd press right and the thing would go left, and that's very disorienting. For that, you'd have to fix that. You'd have to code the camera to. You'd basically have to code the movement to be relative to where the camera is facing. Again, that's. I'm not going to do that this stream because that can be time consuming for me to figure out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the gravity a little stronger. In fact, I might just put it 9.8. I think that should be what the normal That's still very, that's still, hang on, let's do minus 20. Okay, for whatever reason, it's not, I thought our custom gravity was, our custom gravity does not seem to be changing. It's because I was using a small value. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. I just wasn't changing it by a big, large enough value. This seems more reasonable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another... Because right now we can't really turn. So I'm going to take this existing code and I want to add a turn function to this physics process. And I think to do that, we want to change the... I gotta figure out what property we need to alter in order for that to go through. Rotation. So we have variable input direction. I'm gonna add another variable at the end of this. We're gonna say variable. What should I call this? Rotation direction. And it's going to be equal to input dot I don't want get vector. Action press. Let me just do action press. It's action just pressed. Actually, okay. I need to actually do mapping, right? So right now, all these are kind of mapped to the default Godot things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the project settings and go to the 2D navigation. It's somewhere. Just input devices. Input map. Okay, I'm going to go to the input map. And I'm just going to go ahead and show built-in actions. All these actions are built into the editor by default, but I'm going to go ahead and add a new action. Actually, no, what I'll do is I'm going to change these UI accept and stuff to more reasonable buttons. I'm going to remap the current existing buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a action called jump. I'm going to add an action called move left. An action called move right. Move forward. And move back. Plus, I'm going to add rotate left and rotate right. And I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this. So now I have all my custom functions right here, and I'm just going to map them by clicking the plus sign here. And I'm just going to press the space bar. That should map. Move left. Hit A. Move right. It's going to be D. Move forward is going to be that. Move back is going to be this. Rotate left is going to be Q. Rotate right is going to be E. Okay, that's basically mapped our inputs. Plus, I have got to change this. So I'm going to change this that to jump. Change this to move left. Oops. Okay, I didn't change that to move left. Change this to move right. change this to move up, and change this to move down. I'm going to create a new variable. It's going to be rotate direction. It's going to be. This is not going to be. I don't think this is a vector value, is it? No, I'm not going to make this a vector. I'm going to rotate left. It's going to be. I'm trying to figure out how to structure this. We have if direction, we have our speed. If I might just add another if statement here. If input dot is action just pressed. Whoops. Rotate left. Self. So this is a cool thing. We can reference the node itself by just hitting self dot rotation. Self dot rotate dot y. Dot y equals plus equals that basically tells us it constantly adds it. Plus equals 1. Oh, I forgot to put a colon at the end of this condition. I cannot find base number y. Maybe I need self.rotation. Rotation dot y plus equals 1. And else I need to stop the movement. Otherwise, if I do this, it will just continue moving. Self dot rotation equals 0. Or I should just say vector 3 is 0. Spacing tabs, whoops. That should zero it out. By. And I'm gonna add another. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy paste this. This is very very lazy, but I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this. Oops, paste. Okay, did not copy and paste. Copy. Paste. And if is rotate right, rotation equals -1. That should work. Invalid assignment of property or key rotation with value type vector 3. Oh, I guess maybe I can't just do... Okay, I'll just hit 0 then. Y, and then the thinking that these are valid access to property or key. It's thinking invalid access to property or key. Rotation. Base type, character body 3D. Character body. Oh, I moved down. Did I not name my movement map correct? I'm just looking at the errors. I'll move left. Right. Oh, move forward. Okay. I named these move forward and move back. Okay. Move back. Should just be able to change the rotation by... I mean, I'll change these to floating. I'm not sure if that's the problem. Or I'll change this to a float by adding a period. Could work. Name this to no 3D. We got another problem. Without access to property or key. What if I were to remove these? Does that fix it? Because apparently the error is happening here. It doesn't care about the first thing. Okay, well, I didn't care because we were kind of... Interesting. Interesting. It should... Again, this is... I might not... Oh, I misspelt it. Okay. I accidentally misspelt it. I didn't see that. God damn it. I'm sorry, I am blind. Sometimes I don't see those spelling errors. I mean, that should work. Let's just test it, see if it works. Oh, hey, look at that! Well, we have our little thing. It's kind of working. It's not smooth. We can kind of like move our character around. All right. And if we do our thing that we originally did, if we do else, self rotation. Why? This will probably just return us to our original position that we started out with. Just copy it. Damn it. Copy. Hey, it actually does. It does nothing. I thought it would change something. Anyway, I wonder if I can make it smoother and just make it so that I'll do is I'll just change this to 0.5. That we have a bit more of a thing there. All right. So now that we got that done, there is ways you can make it smoother and make it so that it kind of like just gently moves forward. In fact, maybe if I change this to is action pressed, it might make it so that it's just it's more consistent. If I hold it down, because right now if I hold it down, it doesn't do anything. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Ooh. Oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna add a smaller value there. We're gonna make that 0.05. Oh, that's much smoother. Okay, there we go. So yeah. So in case you wanted a quick see on what the difference is between action just pressed and action pressed is constant, whereas action just pressed is not. But here we go. If I hold down the Q and E buttons, we can kind of move around and do stuff. So with that, I think we have a functional player controller. Let's go ahead and I don't want to move to level design just yet because we're not really at the point where we're still missing something. We need kind of well, I mean, sorry, my brain's kind of jumbled. So we'll just go ahead and make a bit of a course here with our existing blocks, existing little tiles here. We'll make them different heights and move them down. We're just kind of see if this is possible. We can make that jump. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we can make this jump. Yeah, we're not gonna make that jump. All right, so we're gonna kind of move that closer. We're gonna go ahead and do that again. Yeah, let's see, we have a basic kind of platformer level. We're moving around, we're jumping. But there's no real consequence for failure. Like, every time we fail, we just fall kind of infinitely. We don't really want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our area 3D. So I used this earlier. I mistakenly used this for the mesh instance. You weren't supposed to use it for that. But we're gonna use our area 3D, and this area 3D will plus our collision area. So we need a collision shape for this. And this collision shape is going to be our area 3D. I'm just going to give it kind of a basic... I'm going to keep it at the origin, but I'm just going to go ahead and change this collision shape to a giant box. We're gonna alter this box. We're gonna make this box quite big. So what this area 3D is gonna do is it's be our death area. Basically, as soon as you hit this point, you are considered to have failed the level. And we'll kind of do the programming for that in a minute, but I'm gonna make this 0.5. And I'm gonna make this like, we're gonna make this huge. We're gonna make this like 50 by 50. In fact, that may not even be big enough. Yeah, we're gonna want bigger. 200, not 2,000, 200. In fact, if we go further, I'm just gonna turn this to 1,000. We're gonna make it bigger. And what we're gonna do, I think what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add a world node doing. We're gonna detach the script. We're not using anything in the script, so we're just gonna detach that. It's useless. What we're gonna do is, in fact, this entire node's useless. We're gonna delete that. I'll just run the program again just in case, but I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. I'm gonna add a script to our Node 3D. Basic script. We're gonna add our player character, so that's gonna be player character. Oh, and we're gonna have to make this an on ready as well. So we need this to run on ready. Character body 2D. Or no, we need our variable player. We'll just call it player. Equals character body 3D. And this is a quick and dirty way of doing it, but and then it's on ready variable. Our area 3D, death zone. We'll just call it death zone. Equals our area 3D. And under our process, we'll say if do I want to code this on the character or do I want to code this on Node 3D? Hang on. If player dot no. If death zone dot area entered is true, there's a function, I'm trying to remember what it is. Get node assignment is not allowed inside. Oh, I'm assigning it. I need to do a comparison, I think. Right? Is that the comparison? Oh no, it's equal. Okay. So unfortunately, okay. So equal is this is a comparison. So this assigns the value true, which I'm not supposed to do. This is the comparison. This is say I want you to check it, not assign it. Just FYI. And expect ended block after if. I think it's kill tree self dot kill get node dot self get node self dot kill close. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look at the documentation because there's a function to do this. Oh, it's Q free. Self dot Q free, and that should close the game. It should I can use Q free, but I'm trying to figure out how to kill node tree Godot. Yeah, I think I should say, actually, I should say player.qfree. And what should happen is that will act as our failure state. So, whoops. Well, signal and Boolean operator. Maybe I don't need the assignment. This is okay, this is technically a signal. Let's try that. No? I can call Q free. I mean, I previously attempted. I just want the area entered on the death zone. I don't think it's... Should only do this while it's ready. Is that why it's not? Get node Q free. I'm gonna try that. Okay, it's the same problem. Here, we'll just reference the self and just see what happens. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like it doesn't... Okay, so it looks like it's triggering immediately. That's a problem. So I thought... Is this death zone being entered by anything? Oh, actually, yes, it is. Okay, I thought... Wait, no, it's down here. It should be away from everything else. For whatever reason, that thing is constantly emitting that signal that it's entered. Equal to true. Self.q free. Invalid operands, signal and bool in operator. Maybe that's what I need to do? Can't remember. Existent function. Maybe I want body entered? And just, a lot of this is just trial and error, trying to figure out which one. It's killing the node seed immediately. It shouldn't be doing that. If body shape entered is of type is player, I'm trying to figure out how to write this out. These are all signals. Gravity point, linear damp, gravity point distance, reverb, priority. The document. Position shape. Oh man. Requires monitoring to be set to true. What the hell's this? This should already have monitoring on, yeah? We just do that. Equal to false. What if I just say, what if I do the opposite? Okay. Operand, signal and balloon operator. Hang on, I'm gonna have to consult the internet again. Alright, so what if I were to turn off all its collision layers? What would that do? What's collision layers? Let's turn these off. Theoretically, it shouldn't do anything. Because it's not colliding with anything. Okay, no, it still kills the node. Or maybe it's because I haven't done the else pass. Maybe that'll... Hey, no. Okay, it's still killing it. That is weird. Okay, here, hang on. Let me, I'm gonna use the built-in, I'm gonna link I'm gonna use the signals. Okay, I was trying to do it just through code, but I'm just gonna have to do it through the interface. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. Sorry again, it's been a minute. We're gonna go ahead and make it so that on body shape entered, we're gonna make it so that we kill the. We're gonna go ahead and do player dot queue_free, and then we're just gonna add this function into our. Yeah. So basically, this process. Whoa. I'm just gonna hit pass on this. Theoretically, if I fall down, it should our capsule should disappear. Okay, it's not doing it. All right, so I need to find some way to get this function to trigger. Because it's not going to trigger because it's if it was in the process, it would trigger. I could move this code into a script that's relative to the character bot. I have to figure out how to pass this because this needs a body to pass through it. So I might. How would I logically lay this out that this is constantly monitoring? Because it should have. It's not triggering right now. I gotta figure out why it's not doing that. Not too low. Player.queue_free. All right, but this is not running, right? Because the function is not in the process function. Like so when I call this, I want to call this function. Problem is, it needs to pass through a type. Body. I don't think that's gonna work, but I'll try it. Okay. So maybe, all right. I'm trying to figure out how to easily code this. What I may have to do is. I'm looking at an example. This is calling a function. weird because it should just... Might be time to call in DeepSeek just to kind of try to remember, jog my memory and figure out how to get this to trigger, or get it to run. Because right now it's just it's not running. You can see I'm still twisting it. I'm still rotating. How do I structure this? It is monitoring. Oh, that's why it didn't do it. I forgot. I disabled the layers. I think that's why it's not doing it. We should disappear now, right? Yeah, there we go. God damn it. Ah. All right. Okay. Boy, there's a lot of... This is a very, very scuffed stream. So yeah, collision layers are important. I forgot that I had disabled those earlier. I was trying to figure out why this wasn't triggering. I thought I had to put it in like the process somehow, but it's like that's not how it works. All right. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna save all scenes. Okay. And what I'm gonna do now, we're at 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and code our game over stream. So how the 2D, so when you're doing the 3D game engine, the 2D portion of the editor turns into your main menu. This is all where all your menu items live. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to code the game over screen. And in fact, I'm going to code 2 screens. I'm going to code the game over and the you win screen. And what I'm going to do is, okay, we got to go back to 2D. New 2D, new control node. And child of that node, we want, I think we want text edit. And I don't know, we'll just make it, we're gonna do this very fast. We're gonna do game over. Excuse me. And we're gonna make this, we're gonna go ahead and increase that. I want to increase the text size. I forgot how to do that. Visibility, that's not what I want. Is it in the shader editor? No, it's not in the shader editor. Scroll, mini map. All right. Visual white space. There's a way to increase your text. I forgot how you did that. Let me... change that to the size of the screen. By the way, in case you're wondering what this outline is, this is basically the size of your screen, how it's outputted. So what I'll do is... Anchor's right there. Add child. Control. Oh, text edit is okay. Coded. I didn't know they had that node. Must be a new one. Create text edit. You know what? This is already a long stream. I'm at 2 hours and 13 minutes. Just hit game over. And you know what? For right now, this is what we're gonna do. I don't want to spend time trying to look for the damn text editor. Maybe I can look for font. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Here's the font size. It's under control. It's under the control property. Okay. Okay, that's a bit too big. 150. All right. And so this should render, if I start this should render right on our screen. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know how to fix that box. We'll get to that. Might be because it's a child of control. Or just make it child of no 3D. What would happen? No, it's the same. Okay. So obviously we don't want this constantly showing. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our no 3D, and then the player.qfree, and oh, we gotta add our we actually have to add a reference to it in our code here. I didn't mean to click. Remember, I just clicked. We'll add on ready. Game over equals text edit. Roll that text edit. Oh, okay, I didn't spell onready correctly. I'm sorry. And game over, and this is one of the built-in functions of these. Dot show. There we go. And so when we pass this game over, we should be, yeah, okay. So there we go. We've got the kill screen. We got the queue free. We don't have the queue. We don't have their game over thing showing for some reason. Okay. So our game over, our text edit should show. Oh, it's because our control node is also not shown. That's right. Okay, let me try it again. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay. So now we basically have our basic game logic set down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm also going to code the win screen. So I'll just go ahead and make that a child. We'll make another text edit. I'm just going to do this quick and dirty. Let's see here. Control. Text edit. Create. And I'm just going to, just for clarity's sake, I'm going to call this game over screen. And I'm going to call this the you win screen. And we're just going to do the same thing we did with the game over, but we're just going to kind of move this over. And yeah, we're going to want to exit that out of the search. Skew you win. Very basic. And let's see here. We want our font again. Search for that. Fonts, font sizes. We'll do similar font. We'll just do 90. No, we'll do 150. That should be big enough. There we go. And kind of make this a little smaller. And we'll do that as well. So now we have the game over of the you win screen done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and program the winning, our little win area. And that we're going to use another area 3D for that. So I'm going to call this the, just for clarity's sake, I'm going to call this the kill zone. And I'm going to do another child node. I'm going to call this the I'm going to do another area 3D and call it the win zone. Add the collision shape 3D. And we're gonna take this win zone. We're gonna go ahead and make the collision shape the, again, when I close that out, we're gonna make it the size of one of the boxes here, so modify it. This is going to be, I think, 10. That's what we decided. A little big. Just kind of doing this by eye. And just quick and dirty. And now, so this is going to be, actually that might be a little high. So basically what's going to happen is that as soon as the player hits this, it's going to be win. So What I'm gonna do here is trying to remember. Go back to Note 3D. So we're gonna do another signal from this little win zone. We're gonna do the same thing we did with kill zone. We're gonna go ahead and do on body entered. Connect to our Node 3D. And we're just gonna do oh, we gotta add a reference to our new thing. You win. In fact, I'm just gonna get rid of these spaces. And this is very quick and dirty. I've kind of ran much longer than I had intended to. But yeah, we're just gonna add a reference to that. Or do we need the reference? We may not even need the reference because I think it's already self-referential. No, yes, we do need the reference because yeah, okay, hang on. We do need the reference because we need it for we need it for the for to show this. So we'll just say you win dot show. And of course, yeah, the game over is declared. Oh, I changed it. Yeah, there we go. So, save all scenes. And go ahead, and what we should see is that when we do this, we should see that our thing is done. And okay, I don't see, it's not showing. Whoops, I just crashed. Our control node is... Oh, wait. I don't think I had the wrong thing. I've referenced the wrong thing. That's why it wasn't showing. Should be able to just come over here and... There we go. But obviously there's some problems because you can still move around after you win. And usually what you want to do is freeze it, and there's a function for that. Should be... It's usually something simple. I'm looking it up right now. Can't remember what the function was. Scene tree. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay. Scene tree dot paused equals true. Should do it. You shouldn't be able to. Okay. Oh. Okay, we didn't get our, we failed, but we didn't get our show. Unable to call function show and base null instance on a null instance. That wasn't happening before. Oops. Oh, shit, I accidentally altered the code. Whoops, I accidentally... I moved too soon. I was not... Anyway, if I go over here, it should say we win. Oh. Invalid assignment of property key or paused. How you actually pause this? Oh, get tree.paused equals true. Okay. That's what... Okay, yeah, it's get tree. A function. There we go. Again, a lot of coding is just looking shit up that you don't know how to do. This is kind of accurate to the experience. I know this is not as in-depth as my other videos, but again, I'm doing this live, so things like this are gonna happen. You're gonna get stuck, and I think it's better if I show... I'll leave the video up because I think it's better if I show the reality behind how you're doing this. And keep in mind, I have made games in Godot before. I couldn't remember. It's been a long time, so it's been a while. And just remembering how the quirks of how Godot works is a little weird. Anyway, I'm gonna try and figure out what the bug is with our kill screen, because it's not... It didn't want to... Yeah, it just wants to crash. No, it's not a null instance, though. It's not... Oh, wait a minute, because I changed the name of it. Yeah, that's what happened. I changed the name of it, and because I didn't update the name in the onReady variable, it didn't save. Yeah, there we go. And there's kind of a big ugly box, but you kind of get the gist here of what I'm trying to do, hopefully. Again, even though I have done stuff on object-oriented code, it's been a while since I've done a lot of that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and change this collision shape to be kind of smaller. And I'll just kind of instantiate this. Actually, I'll make it even flatter. It doesn't have to be as thick as it is. It really just needs to be that. As long as we just intersect it, it will be fine. And if you want to make different it's I'm not going to show how to make different levels, but I think I've done enough so far. But yeah. So what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and I think I can create another instance of... This should still... I'm just going to test to make sure this works real quick before I do anything. It should still work, even though it's small. As long as any part of this capsule is contacting that area 3D, it should show the win. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create kind of another platform here. I'm going to do a new inherited scene. And I'm just going to add this collision shape 3D. I'm going to copy and paste this. And oh wait, common parent is null. go in? Don't see it. Uh-oh. Doesn't seem to want... It doesn't seem to like me doing that. Don't save. So what you can do is you can kind of like do what I did earlier with the block things and just add like make a special zone block that's just a win zone. That you know that tells you you've won the level. Or tells the player that you've won the level. But right now, it's looking like I'll just... Okay, tell you what, I'll just make an instance of this. We'll just save this as a scene. And that way we can just drag this anywhere we want. And, you know, we can do our level design and such. So we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. This is already my longest stream I've ever done. I don't know if I want to go into, like, coding a retry. Because if we code a retry, we'll have to store where the player starts. And then we'd have to code a button. I don't think I'll do that for the stream. I'm kind of... This is kind of the longest one I've done so far, and... You know, I'll just go into... basic... level design. But, you know, right now... With what we have right now, you can create whatever level you want, and you now have a fail state, and you now have a win state. You could go on. You can obviously make your own custom textures or your own custom player model. You can add animations. In Godot, I believe you can just basically just import the Blender file directly, and it'll read all the information off of it. Yeah, if you want to do a like retry screen, you know, again, you'd have to do some special coding here, and you know, do again, you'd have to code a button, hit retry, and you'd have to store where your player start is, and do all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to go into that right now since I've kind of the stream's already long enough. But yeah, I think with that, I think I'm gonna call it. Again, this is how you do a basic level. I'm not gonna go into how to make different levels, but you now have a basic thing where you have a goal, and you have like you have a death zone. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna call it there. I hope all you guys enjoyed watching me struggle with Godot here, as I try to half remember how the engine worked. Again, you know, I'm showing you how the real worlds of game development. You know, you're not gonna have all the answers immediately. You're gonna have to go searching for stuff and search Reddit or ask DeepSeek for advice on how to code things, and as well as, you know, if you're gonna do coding in Godot, I'd recommend, you know, doing an object-oriented coding class. So you can kind of learn some of the concepts a bit more thoroughly, or get the basic concepts of how everything's organized down. And I think I'm gonna call it there. So I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a good day, good night, or whatever, wherever you are. I don't know if I'm going to return to this later. I might not. Hopefully a bit better prepared and not kind of doing this off the cuff. I might test tomorrow or next day after tomorrow. I'll probably test out multi-streaming just to see how that works. And I don't think I'm going to do anything like what I'm doing now with like editors and like game engines. I think I'm gonna go just do like a normal, relaxed game stream, laid back game stream. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good night, good day, good night, or whatever you are, and peace out.